Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to join me for a meditation. Sunday mornings, Eastern Time with Sun and Moon Yoga Studio. And this is out of my home studio or space that we love, this sunroom. You may see no longer a dog walking across the room, getting water. But we filled the vacuum quite quickly with a kitty cat we're fostering to possibly adopt. And she came with the name Snuggles. It doesn't quite fit, which is oh, hey Sandra. Hi. So I didn't even think about this as we're thinking of her name when I thought of the theme, Name It. I was inspired, as I often am, by Annie Moyer, and she has begun a Wednesday night series on meditation and various mindfulness practices, mind practices. I've actually haven't even gone through the whole thing. Because I've been so busy with this fostering to adopt situation. So, so I will hear the rest of it today. But join Annie. You'll love what she's doing, I'm sure. And keep your eye on our channel here because I think little treats will be dropping in from time to time. So a couple minutes of talking about what I mean by naming it and what we can ponder and chew on. And this is part of our self-study, part of that trio of the technique of yoga, the three-step technique that is applicable to everything, any endeavor you want to learn or change or grow. It's often called Kriya Yoga, the path of action, or the yogic path of action. And it is the discipline of showing up, the energy, the fire, the passion of showing up. The second step is self-knowledge, self-study, which is ongoing, right? Sometimes this step is called the study of texts, spiritual texts, scriptural texts. And those are, after all, self-study as well, right? This is other humans who have documented their experience along this path and passing it along to us. And the third step is letting go into sort of the boundless, to the background, to the presence that always is, that is our true essence. So those three steps together, you can use them toward your meditation practice, you can use them towards your cooking practices, toward your work projects, toward anything. Those three steps are sort of an underpinning of any endeavor, how we can see what is actually there and respond more and more skillfully. And so in that, we come to be in better relationship with whatever we're in relationship with. So naming things accurately, this is an important step in many things. If you're writing something, technical writing, for example, one example, you need to name things accurately. It's helpful to the full understanding. Wise action. And so in the process, in the skill of focusing, which I've shared a little bit here with you, is a practice of freeing ourselves. And the main step, well, there's many steps, but just like in meditation, it actually comes to us in meditation very naturally. This is a good way to put it. As we sit in meditation, don't you find it so natural for the sportscaster to come in and play by play tell you what's going on in your head? That's so natural, and it's so on overdrive. So part of the reason it's on overdrive is it's disconnected. It's up here only in our head. It's on overdrive because it's bouncing around like billiard balls in our head. And what is needed is to get some space, to let go a little, back off and say, see that thing, those things we're naming are not us, not the full story of us. And to see, oh, hi, what are you? What are you? How are you, truly? And taking some time to let that presence, let that being, that incarnation, which is our thoughts are incarnations, speak to us. So having this little kitty, she was hiding at first. We don't know how old she is. She might be 1, 2. Anywho, so giving some space, letting her come out, letting the craziness in our heads or whatever's in our heads or whatever it is that is we're encountering. And some of that can be really wonderful stuff, like the little kitty. Something wonderful like a sunset or an intimate moment or these things, if we quickly grasp onto them, kind of wrap them into our own identity package, it stifles them. So if we can allow some space to the wonderful, to the whatever is arriving, to the visitors arriving, we can come to truly know, for the seeing in us to see the other and for it to bounce back and forth. And that is what actually meditation practice teaches us, this stillness, this container of being still, of being silent, allows us to come into that knowing of what that relationship is. And then from there, wise action is more and more accessible. I wonder, as I say this, I feel that I'm actually expressing pretty clearly. I don't always feel that. But I wonder sometimes, does it make it sound so simple, like, oh yeah. So when I've read many of the meditation and yoga and Buddhist teachers I read and others, poets, and they make it seem so easy, the steps, and there's a frustration that arises, like, but it's not so easy. And I'm sharing with you, it is not. It is not. But that's why we practice and we get better. We take a few steps forward, and when we take a few steps back, so important to be forgiving of ourselves and to know we haven't fallen off the path. Adyashanti stressed this once, and I was so grateful to hear it, that when you feel like your practice is terrible, you're not adhering to it, or it's just not feeling that unity thing, um, you're actually still on the path. Don't mistake that for you're not as lost as you think you are. And so you can say hello to that lostness or whatever comes, that feeling like you backslid. And see that, because there's probably some gem in that. All right, I've talked. Let's sit. Let's sit quietly. There's lots of threes that I use in teaching that, I don't know, threes work really well, right? So make sure your seat is comfortable. Somehow I think I need more under my leg. The meditation will be about 12 minutes. And you could be lying down, you could be legs up the wall or legs up your couch, or you can be on sitting with your back up against the wall. Right, we start with a bell and a bow and end with that. Continue to arrive. And linger into the arriving. Linger into the arriving. So meaning these first moments, and ideally you do it a little bit before you sit, is just letting the body settle. You can do it in the beginning. The rules are very flexible. And even as we arrive, and just check with the physical elements of us that are helping us feel our rootedness, groundedness. So that's that very concrete now sense of sits bones, tailbone, receiving the downward pull of gravity. And so we have this hug to the earth. If you let go more and more, just let the body have this inner streaming. If you've seen The Matrix, the movie, and when you see the way they see the code on the screens, that I guess is our, I don't know what it is, it's the life force code. Those green, glowing green digits just falling like rain on the screen. Maybe that can feel like the gravity within our body, as if there's water inside of you, and the water level is coming from above your head, slowly inside you, down. I'm even taking my palm, my hand in front of my body, palm down, just coming down, down, eye level, mouth level, chin, throat, heart, slow, slow, slow. Solar plexus, belly, lower dantian. You might even feel, if you're doing this with me, the hand in front of the lower dantian sort of hovers there. It gets this little resistance. This another lower, lower, lower pelvis, the front of the pelvis, and finally feet, ankles, tail. Naming. And so very key in this naming is the connection with the feeling and feeling tones, emotional, physical. Not only the words in our heads, which are great symbols, critical and fabulous, magnificent symbols, but they are not the thing. However, when linked with the thing, the feeling, the experience, hugely powerful. Another triangle: name, emotional feeling, physical feeling, in the field of the all. In the field of the all. The downward flow as a complementary upward flow. in us and it's all around us as well. It's a true force. Physics has measured it. So there's a buoyancy, a levity upward. Gravity and levity together. Gravity and levity. Code word ground. The first imperative. Once you can keep that tether, but it's not rigid. It is, but it's not. It just helps you stay within yourself. Now we can be aware of code word 2 in this trio, breath. Time to time, as you know, you can scan to see, sort of an aside background technique, that scan to see, or am I relaxed in my eyes? Am I relaxed in my throat and shoulders? And so that relaxation can happen when we find that vertical levity gravity axis. It supports us without, once we find it and surrender to it or cooperate with it, it supports us. And then we can naturally, automatically relax because we have this safe heldedness. Heldedness. And so the breath, if you're needing some technique to help you come back to ground sound breath, I hadn't gotten to sound yet. Ground sound breath is the mantra of bringing me to the portal of stillness, presence. You can count your breath. Each round in, pause, out, pause is one round. Count to 10 without the need to succeed, and just come back when you've gotten to 2 and then your mind goes somewhere else. Come back. 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then sound, ground, sound, breath. The sounds outside, those insect sounds, sort of like that, those rain sticks. Is that what they're called? Rising to a crescendo and falling. I'm naming it. Rain stick. Sound of insects. Soothing. Rain stick sound of insects. And as we name and feel the corresponding sensation in the body, just momentarily, just a short, tiny little short auxiliary practice. And we return to the spaciousness of the all, sensing how we can see and feel from there. Without losing our center, our root. Relaxing. As you bring your palms together in front of the heart, is there a naming that comes up? Thank you. Maybe thank you comes. Maybe, oh, this is the end. Oh, it was so good. I need to stay. I was just getting into the meditation. What words arise? And how is that felt, that phrase, that name in the body, emotionally and physically? Bowing to signify the end of our sitting. You can certainly sit long. Airplane. You can sit longer. I will let you go. I hope I've still been recording. We had some instability there. So name it. You may have heard the phrase name it to tame it. And that's a first step. That's a first step. If we only name it, we get caught in the billiard board of our mind. So I encourage you to name it, pause, whenever. Just play with this technique of how is it here when I name something. Get with the easy stuff. Play with what feels good to name, like your new pet, maybe. All right, thanks again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. So glad you're here with me. Such gratitude lives in my heart. And enjoy And all of you who are watching in a different time space continuum, so glad you're here. Join us often. Ciao, ciao.